Okay, so I think this is the start. Okay. Hi, welcome to the building tutorial for anyone who MS. So I'm one of the judges, and I'm going to go over how I build, I guess, or like basics of how I build, because I think some people would need some help. Okay. So first, I pick out a palette, and then I build like the main structure part, and then after that, I detail that part. So over here, I've got some basic palettes, and I've divided palettes into two main like sections. So there's the main structure palette, so that's like the base. So like over there, that's the um, bone block, end stone, and stone slab with the spruce thrown in there. And then the roof palette consists of the board, consists of two things, and that's the stone bricks and terracotta over there. So main structure palette, that can be divided into like three more things. And so the support is going to be the main block, so over here, that's what that support is. And just kind of is the bare bones of the thing, and then the meat of it per se, that's good enough, is the backing and main, which over there is the end stone. I was using one of these palettes, and then you have the detail, which is the stone slabs. That just kind of breaks up there and adds some detail to there. And then we have the roof pallets, which there's the main block, which is over there. So that's gonna be most of the roof, and that's how it should be. And the border, and I just destroyed that. Okay. And also I'd say always put the darker-ish block as the border. I mean, it can work the other way around, but I think it looks better that way. But yeah. Anyway, after you decided all those, you're gonna go and start make the wireframing. And if you haven't decided your palette yet, or you're still unsure, you can just use like a wool as your wireframing for that. But I usually just go ahead and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use some wood, so I'm just gonna do that, and I can replace with that. But I mean, do what you want, honestly. And another important thing, so like this is the second step, so that's making the structure. I say you would have to pay attention to ratios and like, oh, does this look like it would actually be a building? Like, let's say, take this build for example. If I had built like this out way over here just for exaggeration purposes, it would look awkward as fuck. Okay, so because like this is just way too long. If this was taller and this was a bit bigger, then it would make sense, but just make sure you keep everything in scale, you know. Don't make something too overly exaggerated. I think you can pull it off, but for basic building, I'd say stray away from that if you can. Another thing, I'm just gonna go over some quick details that you might want to add. So if you have like a roof here, I'd say just add like some block. It has to be different than the border block, because if it's different than the border block, then it'll look better, you know. And you can like actually tell that it's a block that's for a different purpose. And back here you'll have a backing block. This could have been and stone bricks, but I just prefer the brighter color of birch. Yeah, that's brighter. Anyway, and then I didn't have enough color, and so this is a case where you can just add a block, to your build, so I added some spruce wood because I felt like it would fit with all the other colors and fit nicely. One thing, I'd say don't add too much color. If you add like too much color, it's gonna look disjointed, not very well made, I guess. There's also another thing that a lot of people tend to do because they think it adds detail and it's always a good thing. They would add like this, but I think that, just looking at it, it doesn't really work for this build just because it looks really bad because it just is a clashing color with the already white thing. So if you just do some support type of deals there, that'd be good over the overhang. Oh yeah, I probably should mention this. Just with most of your structures, just go with an overhang because overhangs look nice. Okay, I mean you don't have to, but I'd suggest to. So for like the detail over here, I didn't really use any fences or anything. I just used some slabs. So that's like an easy way to add some detail, is just doing that, you know, just making a, I don't know what to call this, like a line? I guess we can call it a line. A line. So I usually make those at the bottom if I'm gonna make something like that, but after that I'd probably leave it clean, honestly, because if I just add this, it doesn't look as good because I think it's supposed to be clean here. I hope that kind of gave you a vague sense of what I want. So now we're gonna go on to what I don't want and then show examples of what I want. So here's a couple builds with this one has depth and this one doesn't have depth. I don't know if I explained depth. I can't speak. Depth. So depth. Let me type it in chat because I'm just being depth. Yes. Okay. So that's how you actually say it. I just am being dumb. So you're gonna have depth and non-depth walls. I mean, you can. I'd say just go with depth for now, but it can work out the other way as well. But depth is just kind of like a hole in the wall almost, so where you can like place blocks and then these an open airspace, and it kind of just, it's satisfying to the viewer because they'll be able to see more, I guess. Oh, quick note before I move on. I think another thing you should do is look at your build and be like, does this look balanced? So like, do all these blocks look as though they have the same amount of roll? So like the spruce, you don't need as much because it's already like overbearing, if you get what I mean. It's already overbearing, so you don't really need that much to equal the same amount of bone block or the same amount of end stump, etc. Yeah, this is something that you kind of just learn while building, and I also learned while building, so I'd say just continue to play around with different palettes and see, oh, does this look better or this? Just play around with what looks better, and sometimes just simplify it like to the bare bones. Like, I didn't do much here, but it already achieves what some people can achieve with the way that they're detailing. I just say play around with that. So yeah, anyway, now on to what I was gonna do. I was gonna talk about what I don't want. So here's the example. So in this example, there's too many changing blocks, and also the details aren't really well with the palette. So one way to change that, I probably should have copied and pasted that on the other side. Sorry about that. That was bad planning by me. Okay, so now we have this. So first thing I would do is get rid of the what's it called? The cobblestone, because that just kind of makes the whole thing look bad because it clashes. So that's already better. Then another thing, I'd leave this open space. We're trying to keep with what the detail already was. And then also, just because I think, like right here, I could do this. I could definitely do that. But after seeing that, I actually think it'd be better if I did this, because that other thing, you had too much of the detail block, and I think it'd be better if you broke it up a bit, like that almost. And actually, just to add some depth as well. So there, that's not like the best, but that's a certain improvement to that, in my opinion. This could be like the top to a tower or something. I don't know. So now, and again, I didn't copy and paste. Okay. Just copy. Why I got excuse me. Okay. I didn't copy and paste this one either. And don't mind chat. Chat's just being dumb. Okay, so we're gonna do the first step that I originally did. By the way, I just couldn't force myself to do something like where it changes like every other block. I can't do that. It hurts my soul. Like I just can't. It hurts my soul too much. Hello there. Why did I add this one part? Right here. I added this one part just because it kind of just a hole that's not really needed. I mean, you could leave it like that, honestly, but I'd remove this because just leaving that open space for this backing block to show is better in my opinion. And you can do that. And actually sometimes I like to do this. Just lift one up, because if you lift one up, you just kind of break that, what's it called? You already knew that this was going to be there, but then all of a sudden this comes up one. That'll just add a bit of depth, a bit of detail to the thing. By the way, you might be thinking, oh, well then you don't want cobblestone ever in wooden builds. Well, I'm not trying to say that. I just don't think they should be right by the wood. Or like if they're by the wood, they should be by the base. Like you could add some cobblestone like down here as like a base, and boom. Like I don't think that would really fit the style, but you could in other builds for sure. So like don't be discouraged by that. Like you can still add that, but like try to add it somewhere else. As for like ending messages, I try to go over everything. If you have questions, just like comment what the question is. And then I'd say try out some of these palettes, because some of them are kinda unordinary. This one's kinda ordinary, honestly. And I don't really like the roof palette over here, but I don't really care enough to change it. But yeah, try out some of these palettes, make some cool builds. I'd be excited to see what you got. So that's it. Bye.